And Lindsay, welcome everybody to the town hall by IPA USA on the National Day of Play. And Lindsay Dzielski is here to be our expert. She does play days often. Lindsay, can you share the PowerPoint with me?
Yeah.
I want to give you a few updates about IPA USA so that you can mark your calendars and save some dates and maybe even participate in a porch play chat.
Oh, wait, now it's not popping. Hang on 1 second.
She's come in with it. We've got our conference dates for 2024. And so I'll tell you all of that stuff so we can keep you posted and updated on everything. Hi, Lucius. Welcome. We're really excited about our first annual National Day of Play. And Lindsay has lots of information to share with you on she does play days, she'll tell you, but she does play days monthly in Buffalo, New York, while, the sun is shining.
Yeah.
Okay. So the National Day of Play is, we're saying it's the week of September 16th, but we would love you to try to do it on a Saturday if you can. But some people are wanting to do it on their college campuses. And so, we don't have students typically on Saturday. So if you are interested in doing it on a day during that week of September 16th, that is fine. Okay. Lindsay, can you go to my slides way down at the bottom? There they are. Okay. So the National Day of Play, of course, is one of the things that we're very excited about, and we're hoping that everyone will participate. The IPA Executive Committee has allocated dollars to support individual communities to do the National Day of Play, and we have the mini grant application link and a photo and liability release document for you in a little bit. You'll get that. We have Porch Play Chat tapings coming up, and these are the dates: Friday, October 6th, Saturday, October 7th, and Wednesday, October 11th. And you can see the times that are still available. And then our conference in 2024 will be in Greenville, South Carolina. So you have time to save your pennies. It will begin on the late afternoon, evening of September 27th and run through September 30th. So it's a Wednesday through a Saturday evening. And Lindsay, do you have the other two? Did you leave them at the end?
They're later. They're later
Okay,
in it.
All right, I'm gonna let you take over. So please welcome Lindsay, who is our Pop-Up and Play Day coordinator. And if you have anything, like one of the very first things she's asking is to put who you are, where you're from, and what is your role as a play advocate in the chat. So if everybody would just let us know who's here, where you're from, and your role as a play advocate in the chat box. It's at the bottom of your screen. You can go to chat.
So again, I'm in Buffalo, New York. I'm actually in city of Tonawanda. So I'm between Buffalo and Niagara Falls. So Niagara Falls is about 10 minutes from me, and Buffalo is about 10 minutes from me as well. I'm about 3 hours from Pittsburgh. Hi, Adam.
There's Adam. So if you'll just put who you are and where you're from and your role as a play advocate. Here we go.
Virginia, San Antonio. So who I am is currently I am a mom of all powers. That's how I'm kind of describing myself, and a play advocate. So I should be an art teacher. I have the degree in the education. I also have a degree in design, and I walked away from it all so I could give my children the ability to play more. And now I am just a very active community member who doesn't like that there's no play in school, didn't like that there was no play at the parks, and I don't like that my kids can't find kids to play with when they're roaming the neighborhood. So a couple years ago, I started to just advocate for play, and now I sit on different committees, and I've done different conferences locally to try to get recess in schools. I work on the playground committees for the districts or for the city. And then we also host events for play for young kids, teens, and soon we'll also be working with adults for play days as well. Hi, Pat.
Hi, Lindsay.
Thanks, everybody, for signing in. Pat, it's great to see you. Are you in a car? Oh, no, you're on your porch.
Yeah.
Okay, good. It looks beautiful. I hope it's cool.
It's
Okay,
silly.
Lindsay. Yeah. Oh. Oh, and in Utah. Yep, Sharon's from Utah. Wonderful. We're so happy to have everybody.
So what I wanted to do is just show some photos right now. And I don't want anyone to get overwhelmed with this. I started these in 2019. I was sitting in my living room with a friend. And I said, I've always wanted to do these playgrounds, these adventure playgrounds, but kind of be a portable version. And I want to really do it. And she says, well, what's stopping you? And I said, well, I just don't know how to do it. And she says, okay, well, let's just pick a date and we're going to do it. So in 2019, we started. And everything that we brought to the play date fit in my van. And so you don't have to go large from the beginning. Everything can just fit in a minivan, and you can start small and just grow from there, because the more exposure you get to, it's just naturally going to grow. So I don't want anybody to get nervous that you can't go really big right away, because again, our first year we had maybe 35 people show up, and that was just they were driving by and didn't know what we were doing. And like I said, all of the loose parts play that we had here, the sheets, the tubes, the boxes, that was all stuff that I could pack in my van. And we showed up in a park and we just took it all out, and that's what we started. And if throughout all of this, if anybody has questions, just you can do the raise the hand thing, and Deb will help see that, and then we'll answer as we go. This way no one forgets.
And all of these parts, Lindsay, were donated, right? Or you just went and scrounged them up?
So what we did was we just threw out some social media posts of if anybody has cardboard boxes, if anybody has leftover sleds, if anybody has bed sheets that they don't need, or ribbon or scissors, we'll take your junk. So we essentially just made a list of different junk items people would typically throw out and asked them to save it for us so we could in turn pick it up and use it for the events. So now this photo is from just last month. So now we've kind of grown a little bit. So when we first started, it was very small. We didn't have branding. We didn't have money. We had very few following, very few places to pull from. Now we're in a position where we're able to do fundraising. We're able to purchase big items like the dartboard in the back that blows up. We even had musical instruments donated so kids could play. So now we're in a different position. However, when it comes to the money, you really don't need a huge budget to do this. Again, we fundraise, yes, but for us, because we do monthly events, our fundraising is helping us pay for a storage unit, because we're just a community group and we outgrew my garage, right? So it helps us afford totes to be organized, or extra newer hot items. But really it was the simplicity of boxes, bed sheets, tubes. That was the initial draw for several years until we started to grow. And as we started to grow, we started to bring in other people. So here we have a local face painter who came in. She volunteered her time, and she now does the face painting during the day of play. Again, bird food, it's a simple concept. It does not cost a lot. Walmart has it for like $8 for 20 bags. And if it goes on the ground, it's not like it's rice and it doesn't hurt the earth. It's just simplicity. It's the basic, cheap, loose parts play that the kids will surround for hours. And really with the day of play, it really is coming. It's about bringing everyone together and getting them all to play, not just the kids, but that generational pull as well. And there's different ways to do that. So here we have the younger kids who are just starting to walk. We have the different areas. Parents are getting involved. We have the hill that we use. So that allows for the risky play. For us, location is key. We could pick any park in the city, but we chose to use a park that's on a main road. The reason we choose a park on the main road is because now you're going to have that traffic who's going to see it, and now they're going to stop. So it helps bring that attention to the effort you're doing. Because as far as the kids are concerned, it's just fun and play. But to those of us who are the advocates, it's about all the other things, the social skills, the math skills, the mental health, everything else is involved with it. So again, here's just a couple other videos of it. You can see they push the hamster wheel, we call it. It's just a drain tube. That's the pool that has all of the bird food in it. And these kids will just play for hours with all of these different loose parts. And we don't have any specific location for the items. We leave it very free, very open. So they're able to do what they want with the materials, including the guitars that we had donated. They were not brand new, they were broken. And then it allowed the kids to explore with them more. So if they did break, they're now, no longer useful, but it gave a lot of children the ability to, oh, I can't go past it. There we go. To play with musical instruments that perhaps they would not. We also, for our day of play that we host, we also have the, we were able to receive a grant from IPA, and we have the foam machine, which is a huge hit for the kids. It's little cleanup, the foam just disappears. You can get the cheap soap from the Dollar Tree store, and it lasts for, we probably did this for about 90 minutes with the soap. And again, if you look at the backgrounds to what we're doing here, it's all boxes. But we also work on the marketing aspect, because if we can focus to the parents that a day of play looks a certain way and has like that higher level, then we're able to have them come back. We look more professional versus just 4 of us or 5 of us who are doing this as just people who wanted to do something fun in the community. So we have the picture frames, we have the backdrops. We also do maker stations, which I actually had the idea for the maker station because of the museum in Pittsburgh, Adam. That's essentially where that came from. Again, the foam machines are a hit. The kids get messy. There's shaving cream on the kids. And again, if anybody has questions, just let us know. But it's pulling in those cheap, disposable. You can find them everywhere. You can put out a call on social media for people's stuff they're no longer in need or they are going to trash. And that's what we're bringing back to that basic open-ended play. Construction sites, we were able to find this tube. It's a big drain tube. Somebody actually threw it in a field and left it there for over 10 years. And we were able to ask if we could take their garbage, and they said, go for it. And it is one of the big hits. And, essentially somebody left it, they junked it, and then it just sat. The current company ignored it, and then we were able to go in and ask for it. We also do sponsors. So instead of the way that we looked at sponsors is a lot of time with sponsors, you have the gold tier, the bronze tier, the silver tier, and so forth, or tier 1, 2, 3. We wanted to make them more playful. So we came up with different playful sponsors, and that to us kind of just showed to the sponsors that they are playful, and we gave them little plaques that showed what their playful status was. So again, it's kind of just that all encompassing. It's not just the kids playing or their parents, it's also the sponsors are also playful. We also teamed up with local boards. So I'm also a part of our visual arts board for the city. So we reached out and asked if we could have a donation, because most cities have visual arts boards of some sort, or they have youth boards, or they have youth bureaus, or even the environmental boards in high schools. A lot of those clubs or boards will donate towards the events, and especially when you talk about play, they want to then donate as well, because it's usually a teacher who played and now they see the students are no longer playing, so they want to donate. So here we were able to create a whole maker station based off of just one sponsor. And we have enough supplies that we will continue these supplies into next year without having to purchase anymore. So the way, when you walk into the day of play, I'm very conscious with how we have it set up. There's a messy zone that's to the side. We have a sensory zone that's a little bit further away and in the shade. We have the boxes, because those will get jumped on and destroyed and built and knocked over. So we have like the chaos zone kind of in the middle. But you want to pay attention to your areas when you set up the day of play, to trying to meet the different needs for those areas. So that there's stations, essentially. You're just not moving children through them. They are just free flowing through as they see fit. And a lot of the times those stations will cross over into other areas, and we allow it. That's what we want, right? That's that open-ended child-led play. So we allow for the shaving cream to go to the other areas, and that's okay. And if I could say anything, get yourself this man in the hat, get yourself a Bill Conrad. He is, he's our assemblyman, and he absolutely loves model rockets. And he purchased a bunch of model rockets for the kids. He was so excited, just like a kid. So if you can find somebody who has that child like playful mentality in a political role, invite them to come play. See if you can figure out what their play history is, right? And see if you can incorporate that, because that will just help it grow even more. He loves it. He's already purchased the rockets for this year for the group for the day of play, because he's ready to do a class on building rockets and then go and launching them during the day of play. But it's not just about the rockets here. So we also have that multi-generational play here. Here we have the grandparents who built it with their son, who's now bringing their son, and we come with extra rockets. So now some of these kids who are young, you can see in the photo, they're young. Now they're excited about the rockets. Now they want to build rockets. So we can give them some rockets to even take home. So now they can build their rocket. And we've kind of just created a new generation of rocket players, essentially, right? That if it was not for these opportunities, that they would not know about. So again, the boxes, we have tons of boxes. We just break them down, we fold them up, bring them out, make piles. Some get recycled, some get reused. We make a big pile, and then they will end up all over the field. But again, these are all things that can get donated. Whether it is school districts who are purchasing computers, they have those boxes, whether it is the hardware stores, the grocery stores, all of these places, if you just call and you ask what day is good to stop to get boxes, they will give them to you. And then you'll have a car full, just like we do. So it's really just getting back to the basics of play, what materials we can use, but then also getting back to the basics of how to find those materials. Well, you ask, right? We don't have to purchase everything. I can tell you that last year we probably only spent about $400 to $500 on materials, and that was it. And it was a field full of stuff. But again, most of it is donated, or somebody was throwing something out. In our shaving cream zone, these metal posts holding up the shipping plastic, that was from a gardener who was letting us borrow them for the day. So we just hammered them into the ground. We did purchase the shipping plastic, we wrapped it. I would suggest, if you did this, to use the metal posts, because wood does not work. Wood will bend. But again, these are items that we just ask for the community to help us with, or we ask the families that we're working with, and they come through for it. Any questions?
And
so
Lindsay,
far?
Lindsay, when you're talking about $300 or $400, you're talking about for the whole summer's worth of play days, right?
Yeah.
Because you do them for every month for
We do them the third Saturday of each month. So we have one this Saturday. But again, we came into this year with $100, and we've already done 2 with just that $100. you know, because again, these supplies are able to be reused, or we're just reaching out on social media for boxes or tubes, or do you have an extra, you know, a couple cans of shaving cream or paint, washable paint? Because when you just ask for those little nonsense items, the one woman called it, she's like, I have no problem grabbing it when I go to the dollar store, you
Mhm.
know, because it meant nothing to her in terms of grabbing an extra one and donating it to us.
And one of the things that when we would do play days, one of the things that I did was go to an Army surplus store. I don't know if you guys have any around wherever you are, but Army surplus stores sometimes have old parachutes that they no longer use. And so you don't have to buy a parachute. I had an enormous parachute that
Mhm.
25 or 30 kids could play with if they chose to. And I think I paid $15 for it.
Yeah.
And it was worth, I mean, my goodness, that thing lasted forever.
Yep. And even, but that to that point too, if you have anybody in the Air Force or if you're near an air base, they'll donate too, because we have one actually in the garage. We just haven't figured out what to do with it yet, because this one is the big enough to drop cargo. So
Did
I
somebody
also
have a question? Oh, hi,
I-
Sharon, go ahead.
I just have something I want to say. I also have a local printer and they do things like banners and stuff. And they
Mhm.
get half rolls of paper.
Mhm.
They're like the paper that's on this is like really good quality. Like you can get so much paint on this paper and it's rolls and rolls and rolls and rolls and tons of mileage of paper. And they give that to me free. I've done it for our local arts festival when they do the kids area or whatever. I get the paper for that. And you can make your own paint out of, it's just flour, cornstarch and warm water. And you just cook it, it gets thick. And then you just use tempera powder to make the color. And they can make their own, like it's like a science experiment and art. So then you just give them the white medium, put it in a bowl and let them pick a color, throw it in there. They can mix it up. And then they've got their own paint that they can make.
Yep.
But I go to my printer, to my local printer and get things like that, or the insides of the rolls, those hard
Yep.
cardboard
Yep.
insides of the rolls, or the long tubes that they get for the
Yep.
big banners.
And the
they've
carpet stores are great for those tubes, and they'll
even
save them
given me
for
like
you.
the roll-ins of the banners, like that fabric that's from the banners.
Yep.
Yeah. And the other place that we would get things is from the newspaper people, because when they're doing the newsprint, they have big rolls of paper at the end that they can't use because it's not enough to make a run, and they'll hand you all of that stuff. Say, yes, please come get it.
Yep. The
Um,
prints, and even with like the thicker boards too, a lot of print shops will just toss it and you can just ask for their scraps because they had to cut something for somebody else and they have the scraps, and you can get all different colors and sizes and shapes. Speaking of colors, sizes and shapes, this is just pool noodles. So this was $10 worth of pool noodles and a couple, maybe like 2 hours of my time cutting every single one. You know, and we filled 3 garbage bags full of them for
Mhm.
$3, you know, $10 maybe. And then we have PVC that we garbage picked and we just cut it into different sizes, and then the kids start to put them together. And ideally I see that the day of play is being outside, but we know that that's not always possible. So sometimes we have to be inside. But if all of these things can still take place inside, we might have to be a little bit more creative with how we accomplish it, in terms of maybe you can't use paint, but we can use flower petals. And now the kids can use flower petals and smash them onto fabric or just play with them as a sensory thing. So even though a lot of this is messy or it's big, all of this can still take place inside. So here we're restricted into a gym, but we still were able to bring everything. We had a container of noodles, we had flowers, we had the hamster wheels, everything that we would have for the pop-ups outside, we had inside as well.
Yeah, you got to find some of those tubes. That looks like a great bunch
It
of
is
fun.
great. You can find a contractor or someone who's working on a site,
Mhm.
or just ask your city officials. But even this, so this was 6 buckets, so like your 10-gallon buckets full of flowers, because what happens with florists,
Mhm.
they have orders. They have to do the orders. They can't use all their flowers. They compost them or they ditch them. So all you have to do is just ask around to a couple local floral shops, see if, you know, a day before the event, you could stop in and grab some flowers that they're not going to be using, and you'll pass out their card during the day or whatever the case is, do a shout out on Facebook. And we were able to fill the pool with the flowers, and the kids had so much fun. It smelled awesome. And
Mhm.
you could really see how different kids were responding to it. But again, it's not just the kids, it's the adults too, right? So her kids were watching her play and build a cube out of the PVC pipes. And again, just this image alone, the only cost here was the noodles from the dollar store.
Yes, I just bought 10 noodles at Five and Below for $10.
Mhm.
Yeah,
And again, the guitars, my daughter takes piano lessons. I went to the music store and I said, do you happen to have any instruments that, you know, you can't sell, but you don't want to throw them away? And she said, yes. And she gave us 6 guitars. And there were some kids that are going to need that quiet place, but they still want to participate, and they will take that guitar, they will sit under the tree, and they are there for the full time. So we're really meeting the needs of all of the kids, whether it's loud, active, quiet, repetitive, all those different elements are being touched on. And again, this costs nothing or very little. Another fun suggestion too is we have the Sabers. So this is Sabretooth for hockey. So he came out and he hung out with the kids and he played with the kids. So it just kind of makes it more exciting for the kids, more memorable, and it also helps for the adults get excited as well, back to their childhood about Sabretooth, because who does not get excited about their mascot or their hockey team or their football, right? So if you're able to incorporate a mascot or even sports players from your local teams, that just helps bring in that excitement to the parents as well. Because if we can create that excitement with the parents, they're going to allow these kids to do this stuff more at home as well. And that's the one thing that we've noticed is tons of parents have come to us saying, I never thought to keep the Chewy box. Now
Mhm.
I'm keeping the Chewy box. And now their kids are playing. So it's really trying to engage with the parents in a way that makes them, it's their own idea, right? It's always better if it's their own idea. And so we're showing them different ways to have fun and to be kids and to let their kids be kids, while also bringing them back into their childhood. So again, it's really focused on the boxes are our big draw. And here, this kid in this photo, he's almost 16, and he was there for 2 hours the other day playing. So again, it's not just the young ones who are playing with it, it's also the older kids. And even going back to like when we first started, we did not have money for nice signs. So we took some markers and we made some signs, and that's okay. We will give you the files. So we have a Facebook group that we will add you to if you would like to partake, and we will give you the PDF. You can just print these files right out. But what we do is we have posters throughout the play area, and we're just trying to educate the parents, whether it's through a quote or facts about play, to kind of just inspire them and keep them thinking about it. So up here,
Look at the
hill,
hill and the sled. Oh my goodness, look at that.
right? So here, that's my kid. So here she's doing it, but on the hill, that's the same hill that they'll push the tube up and then they'll go inside and roll down. Now for the parent, they're sitting there thinking, oh my gosh, they're going to get hurt. They're inside of a tube. The tube is big. All these fears are going through their mind. But what we've done is we've taken one of these signs that talks about risky play and we put it right on the hill. So now those kids are doing the act, the risky play, while the mom's looking, or the dad or whomever is looking at the sign. So we kind of hijack the parents in order for them to read the sign and not see the fact that their child's doing something that's risky, right? So we're teaching the parent and letting the child do it all in the same spot. Again, bed sheets, it's a donation. We tied it up to a net, and then we watered down some washable paint, and that occupies the kids for days. We wash it when we get home, and then the same sheet is used again.
Mhm.
If you have a volleyball court in one of your parks and you can get access to it, that is a whole different play game then. Because now we're doing the boxes and the tubes and the sheets on top of the sand. And now the kids are engaged in different ways as well. I would say like a big ticket item, if you want to call it that, is that big beach ball. It was $10 on Amazon, and the kids and the adults love it. Here we have somebody donated 2 bags of pine cones. They're just pine cones, right? But the kids played with them. They stacked them. They were burying them, or they were playing catch with them. So again, that's a free resource. We just have to simply put the word out that we're looking for things. Any of your electrical friends, they have the access to the dowels. You can get even the bigger ones, but then you just have to worry about storage, and they are heavy. But so right now I just kind of want to show you visuals to give you ideas of what it looks like. And again, here we're in a smaller location. This location is probably only maybe 30 feet by maybe 50 feet, if that. It was just where they do food trucks on Thursdays, and we set it up. So here's a quick video. I'm hoping it won't do an ad, but this is from last year. I don't know if you can hear it, but there is music.
There's rockets.
Yeah, so we have the rockets, we have the foam machine going.
And what's fun is what happens at the end.
Right? So
Mhm.
here we have the rockets shooting up. That was when they were testing them. We take over this whole entire park. And this gives you an idea of how many boxes we collect. But again, the entire event, I keep dropping service, sorry about that. The entire event really cost very little for us to accomplish it. Same with the shaving cream. A lot of the shaving cream was donated. The parachute in the back was donated. Now all these kids are covered in bubbles and shaving cream, but this is all part of the day. And at the end of the day, you'll see in the video, we have the fire department come hose everybody off. So now they're not going home messy. They're going home clean. They might be wet, but they're going home clean. And for the firemen, it works for the fire department because they have to do trainings. So they use this as a training as well. So it allows them to be more willing to participate, because it can kind of knock off one of their requirements they have to do. But you can see all ages are involved here. That again, that was a donation from a daycare that was closing. Again, we allow all of the material to kind of cross over. We don't prevent any of it. We might space it out further, but we're not preventing it from being merged. Under the tree to the left, we have more of the sensory and the art tables to kind of just give the shade. And it's all just basic fun. We also involve food vendors. So if you can have food trucks come out, you're able to take care of that food aspect, because kids get hungry, parents get hungry. If you don't have to worry about being hungry, then they stay longer, they want to play longer. Another thing to consider is just the bathrooms. It works better if you have access to bathrooms. We've done them in parks where there were no access and people don't stay as long. And then again, the firemen came out, they sprayed us all, everyone was cleaned off, and we don't have to worry about going home messy. And all the adults want to partake in the firemen. right? With the spraying of the hose, because that's just fun and no one gets to do that.
That's the best way to end a day
It is. And then we have them
and to
come,
cool off.
right? We ask them to come 30 minutes before we leave and they spray it all down. And that is how we end our day. And then while all the kids are over getting sprayed, all of our volunteers, and when I say all of our volunteers, it's maybe like 6 or 7, maybe 8 of us are starting to clean up in the other areas, right? So again, like when it comes to the day of play, we want to look at what does it look like? It's going to be messy. It's going to be all over, but it can be small. It could be huge. Work within the space that you have. And it doesn't matter if it's small because it will grow. And the more you do it, the bigger it gets. Again, our first one that we did in 2019, we had at 30-ish kids. And now when we have a pop-up, we'll have maybe 150, 200 kids for the day of play. And we've definitely grown in that aspect. What does it sound like? Again, it's loud, it's fun, it's laughter, it's contagious. Everybody wants to be involved. The people drive by, they hear it, they want to come out. The people in the neighborhood, they're hearing the noise, they want to investigate and see what's going on. So now they're joining in. And again, the people involved, this is where you can really build a day of play. It can just be your organization or your school or your daycare, but it can also involve your local Lions Club or your local youth boards or other community groups. They can all come in and do a part of it. The local libraries could join in. So you can really involve anybody who has an interest in play or community and invite them. And then how it's promoted will give you some, as we get closer, we'll give you social media posts that you can just edit and then share to help promote it on social media. We'll give you some other ideas for marketing as well. So again, coming back to other things you need to consider. So when we started, and I don't suggest this, but when we started, we did not ask permission. We didn't know what we were doing. We just did it. Now I know you should really look into permits and what your city requirements are, right? So if you're doing it in public park, if you're doing it in a public field, find out through your city or your town what their requirements are. You may have to fill out paperwork for a permit. You should have insurance. And just as an example, I can pick up insurance for our group for $250 and it covers us for the year. And we will provide you with a waiver. So we'll send you the document that you can use for a photo release as well as like a safety waiver. If you need it, you can use it. IPA USA will provide that information to you. Another thing to consider are volunteers.
Mhm.
This is where high school kids are a big help because most schools have to have the service learning. So you can bring in high school kids to volunteer. And the way that I look at it, now they're also forced into playing. So now we're kind of winning on both sides. So they're going to come in, they're going to help for maybe an hour, set up in the morning, stick around and play. And we actually give that as their description, like your job is to play. And then when it's time to break down, help us clean up the boxes and start to organize everything. Storage is a big factor. Storage is a big factor. So you do need to consider where you're going to store everything. Again, all of the boxes we use, we break down after each event and we just make a big pile and they go into, at one point it was my garage. Now we've moved into a storage unit. If you're in a building though, hopefully you have a closet or a space that you can store all that material. Again, going back to the food option, if you have food, they will stay longer. If you have the ice cream truck come, they will stay longer. If you have the snacks and chips and water, they will stay longer. Same with bathrooms. We've done it in parks where there were no bathrooms and it's usually about an hour and then they leave because the kid has to go or the adult has to use their bathroom, right? So if you can find an area that has access to a bathroom, everyone will stay longer. Again, sports teams, if you can pull in any of your mascots or any of your players, if you have those connections, it just makes it more fun. And now you're also able to bring the playfulness to the adult as well. political figures, again, find yourself that Bill Conrad who wants to shoot off rockets all day long and will buy the rockets and give them away to kids, because they're the ones that will help build this for you. And they are the ones that can help you fund it also as you continue to grow. And then partnerships, again, maybe you're partnering with different school groups or other organizations, or you're just simply partnering with another community group that's doing something similar, or the city themselves and their recreation department. See who else is out there who would be willing to partake in the event with you. This way it helps you to have more bodies, right? But everything that you saw, we do with 6 people. And like I said, we came into this year with only $100, and we've already have had, actually we've had 5 events, and 2 of them have been like this type of play, and then 2 of them have been for teenagers, so it looks a little different. And then we had another event for adults, but with just $100, everything has just been donated or garbage picked or a shout out on social media of what we need. So it's possible for everybody to do this with very little money. I feel like this is like the art teacher in me coming out of like not having the budget ever and having to get creative, right? So just a kind of a quick list of different ideas for loose parts, and you can screenshot this, and we'll also have it on we have a booklet that will be out by the end of the week for you as well, that has a whole bunch of more details in regards to things that you need or things to consider. But for loose parts, right, you want the open-ended, the tubes, the cardboard boxes, blocks, string, bed sheets, tapes, clips, crates are great for building. Bird food, I love the bird food. Spray bottles, the plastic pools, washable paint, shaving cream, brushes, logs. If you have an actual physical location, so like if you're a center or you're in a building and you can actually bring in logs that don't have to be moved after each event, bring those in. I don't know if you can see mine in the background, right? Like that's there. But those are the best things that they want to jump on. They want to play on them. Logs are awesome if you have that ability. Hay bales, another thing, if you don't have to move them after each event, you can build with those. You can make walls with those and sections, sensory tables, or just simply an area for sensory or tactile play. Noodles, we've done colored spaghetti noodles. They get a little mushy in the heat, but it's a whole different experience because they actually are playing with their food. And then the beach balls, a ball pit, and again, the flowers. I really like the flowers. That's a fun one. And I'm sure you all have other ideas for loose parts as well, because you're all play advocates. So you all have some other tips and tricks that we can share too. But again, we're going to help you with files. So these are some of the posters that have been created. So we'll send them to you. They print out 18 by 24, but you could always resize them. And you'll be able to print these out and post them at your day of play or your play days. And these are those different educational moments for the adult to think about why play is important, or to think about what's actually happening while their kid is playing. And again, all these files it's actually already in the Facebook group that we'll give you the link for, and you can just download it and print it. Sponsorship. So if you do want to look into fundraising or sponsorship, again, we make it fun. So instead of having that gold level, silver level, etc., we came up with different interesting, playful titles, right? The playful professional, the imagination igniter, the creativity contributor. So this way, when someone is sponsoring, we're able to give them this fun title that goes along with play. And then on the left of the screen here, we have like their badge that we give them on social media that you can just edit and place in their name, and also place in your logo if you have a logo. Again, we just kind of want to make it different. How can we stand out? How can we make this playful? Because everyone's always asking people for donations. How can we be different? So I'll let Deb take this part.
Okie doke. So those of you who are interested, the executive board of IPA USA has allocated $2,000 of our budget toward the National Play Day mini grant awards. And so if you are interested, there's a QR code down here at the bottom that will take you straight to the mini grant application in Google Docs. And we'll also send it out in the email with this link to the video if you're interested in seeing the video again or getting some ideas from the video. And we also have a permission slip so that you can take photos, and that is a liability waiver. And so you can, at this QR code, you can go and download that Google Doc. And if you have any trouble, just email me. You know who I am and how to find me. And then Lindsay and I started a Facebook group page today. And then Lindsay's posting everything that you've seen here up on that Facebook group page. And this is just a Facebook group on our IPA USA page. So you can.
We'll also have it pinned to the IPA USA page at the top. So if you don't grab it here, if you just go to the regular Facebook page, it will be a pinned post later today. So you can just click into it and join the page that way as well. But the idea is that we can just share ideas and share connections and share, hey, I just found this for this price, everybody buy it. But just a place where like minds can share the excitement too, because I get really excited when I find stuff on the side of the road that I can use for the play days, and other people also get excited about it. So just a place that we can kind of just share ideas and things that we've found or purchased or where we're headed with it, and just create like a community of people who are in it right now.
Pat also gave us another way. I've got funders on is it the next page, Lindsay? There's one about funders. I know where that one is. Did I do it already? I don't think so. I've got mine up if I need to.
Yeah, you may have to share your part.
Okay, and then Pat just gave us a new one. So let me share. Can you see it, or do I need to share my screen? I bet I need to share. Let me go back. So many windows. Okay. All right. And so here again are the links. Lindsay gave you some QR codes, but these are also the links to the mini grant app in Google Docs and to the photo and liability release. But Defending the Early Years does mini grants to individuals and organizations that help foster play. And the next deadline is September 1st of 2023. So you could apply for a mini grant. And then this will be in the PowerPoint I'm sending. And then Pat reminded us, and I've got to go back to the chat and find it. Hold on, sorry. So in the chat, Pat Roomba, the play lady, said that change.org.
No, changex.org.
Sorry, thank you, Pat. Changex.org will fund Playday projects, and you can receive up to $5,000. So that's in the chat. And I'm
Pat,
just
didn't you win that too last year?
I'm going to type it in again. Go ahead, Pat. I'm sorry.
So ChangeX, everybody, they fund projects to help communities. And they discovered that we are known for our play days and that we wrote two play day handbooks, which you can just order the handbook separately from us. But I'd recommend first, if you're going to have a play day, to go to the website, changex.org, and click on the Playday project. Ideally, you need, like Lindsay has, a team of a couple people. And when you want to have your Playday, I think you might be approved for funding for as early as September for the Playday. But you have to have a budget and say how you're going to spend the money. So maybe you want to bring in performers, or maybe you want to pay for food or your insurance, or maybe you even want to pay a couple staff to help you. So there's all different kinds of ways you can spend the money. But it's a fabulous opportunity. $100 is always nice, but $5,000 is it really could help you put on a nice play day.
Okay. Does anybody else have any questions for Lindsay? Now is the time.
Yeah. Like I said, my main goal initially is to show pictures, because when you talk about a play day, not everybody has an idea of what that looks like. So if we could share the pictures, get your mind going, now you can start to incorporate how you see it working in your area or your facility.
Pat, go ahead.
Yeah, question for Lindsay or any of you. Do you have videos of play days? We do at Let's Play America on our YouTube channel or on our video on our press page. And it's a great way to get funding and to let people know about what you do. So I urge you to check out our website, letsplayamerica.org, and you can go to our YouTube channel or again on the press page, and it says videos.
And if you want to do play days, we're hoping you'll do one a year. I mean, we want you to do one every month, but we're trying to start small and work our way up. But if you were to get a big bunch of money from these funders, including us, then you could think about using some of that money to pay for a storage unit to put all the stuff in, so you could go get it and put it back in one place. I think that is, Lindsay, didn't you get money from a city council member or a representative?
Yeah, so again, that's the other thing we want to, don't sell yourself short on things. Throw it out there on social media. Would anybody pay for a storage unit? So last year, we had just a random person in the community who saw what we were doing, offered to pay for the storage unit for the season for us, and he had no ties to us other than just he knew what we were doing, he appreciated what we were doing, and then he sponsored the storage unit for us. So don't think that things are out of reach. It was just, we threw it out there on a whim and somebody wanted to do it. They saw what we were doing. They believe in the idea of play and they wanted to support it. That's how they could. And then this year we had one of our Erie County legislators, he recognized us by awarding us a grant as well. So we're still in the process of doing all that paperwork, but we are being awarded a grant as well that will allow us to push this even further to maybe getting a trailer, and we can no longer have the storage unit, throw it all into the trailer. So that, but again, it starts very small and then people start to see it and you build your presence and people will start to recognize it, and it's different. It's it's a familiar different. We're not really doing this stuff anymore. But to those of us who are older, we remember it, we recognize it. So we're kind of pulling on the nostalgia of others, and now we're being able to be recognized through those ways in order to do more things.
So I'm typing answers in the chat box. So the IPA release form is really for the families who are attending the play day, right? So it's a photo release that it's okay for you to take photos. And it's a waiver release that you're not responsible for injuries, and IPA USA is not responsible for injuries. So it's a waiver. But if you're thinking about doing these regularly, which we would love, and we're also looking for state play advocates who will organize these play days across the state. So if you're interested in that, I'm going to put my email in the chat.
And Deb, I think Lucia's had a question.
Yes, and Lucius, hold on just one second. I can't talk and type anymore. I'm too old. So the mini grant that is on the QR code that Lindsay showed you and that we'll send out in the PowerPoint. The mini grant is you're telling us who you are, what state you represent, what you're going to do, who's on your team. Are you willing to submit photos and a report by October 1st? And so you're kind of outlining what it is you're going to do, who I send a check to, all of those things. The deadline for the mini grant applications, did I say August 31st or September 1st? I can't remember.
I think it's September 1st.
I think it's September 1st, so I could get you the money fast. And so if we don't have 20 people that say they're going to do a play day in their community in the week of September 16th, then the grants will be bigger. But the board allocated $2,000 to help promote this. Okay, Lucius, you had a question.
Yeah, thank you so much for this. This has been really fun to hear all the different ideas. I just had a quick question about the insurance, and do you have any literature on how you wrote it up or what you proposed to them, or if by being insured, was there like height obstacle restrictions or things like that? Because I know
No,
working
was
with play parks, there's always
yes, it was.
what do you call it?
Yeah, we called it event insurance.
Mm-hmm.
And so you typically get event insurance when you're having a conference in case, someone's injured or there's something that happens that's catastrophic, you get event insurance. So when we ran our conference last year for our 3-day or 4-day, I think it was a 4-day event for the conference, our event insurance was $250. So if you're going to do it for 1 day, it might be less, right? So if it's but you can also get event insurance, like Lindsay pays like $250 a year.
Yeah, and the only thing we're not allowed to do is fishing. For whatever reason, we're not allowed to go fishing. But other than that, everything that we do is covered.
And so you'll want to talk to them about it. And there's an insurance company that I could send you that does event insurance that we got ours through. If you want me to do that, I can send that out in an email to folks, or we can put it in the Facebook group. That's what we'll do. So you're in one place.
Yep.
And then you'll need to join the Facebook group on your own. So you go to the IPA USA Facebook page, and it's the one with Article 31 in the top. So let me see if I can show you what it looks like. Hold on.
I'll make a post with it and
okay, that would be great. So Lindsay will show you which one there is, because there's a couple out there that are not us. And so you certainly want to join our Facebook page, and then you get all the Porch Play chats every Monday, and you get all the updates on what we're doing. One other thing that I did not mention, if you're interested in writing a journal article for our e-journal, and they don't have to be research based, it's just, why is play important to you? What are you passionate about? It could be nature. It could be pop-up and play events. It could be podcasts. It could be anything that you're interested in. I'll also put that up. I put it on our Facebook page. The deadline is August the 15th, and the article's 1,500 to 3,000 words. It's a piece of cake. And so that's on the Facebook page, but I'll put it up another post so that you are reminded about that. And that's our IPA USA e-journal. So we do lots of ways to try to communicate to you. Oh, nice. Thank you, Wendy Ruiz. Yay. I'm very excited. So send me a mini grant. That's California. We got one state down. Let's keep going.
Yay. All right, and it is officially pinned to the top of the International Play Association USA Facebook page.
Great.
So when you go into that page, it will be under the featured section.
And can you show them what the logo looks like so they know what they're getting the
Sure.
right Facebook page?
Yeah, let me.
Hey, Chris.
Share my screen again.
And for those of you who may not have ever done a porch play chat while Lindsay's bringing up the Facebook page so you can see what it looks like. Porch play chats are conversations. Oh, there. Yep, that's the National Day of Play group, but we want the little Facebook logo page. What you're on is either the mini grant or I think Sharon. Porch play chats are short conversations with people who are passionate about play. So they're 25 to 30 minutes long. It's just a conversation. We have over 150 of them on our YouTube channel that are free and available. They're also on our Facebook page. So
great.
now let's get up.
It says IPA USA National Day of Play and the logo.
And then do you have the Facebook, the Article 31 one, so they can see here, this one right here. So hold on, let me go up. Oh, I don't know what I do with it. See Article 31. It has Article 31 in a little circle. And that way you know it's ours. And then you'll find the National Day of Play group. So anyway, if you're interested in a porch play chat, you can send me an email. I'll send out the dates again when we send out this PowerPoint. Oh,
But yeah, so for the Facebook group, again, we'll share files. So there's a section in the page in the group for files, and there you'll see the PDF that has the posters. You'll see the file for the logo. You'll also see, as we get closer, different like social media market memes. I don't really know what you want to call that stuff anymore. Different social media posts that you can share and just add your logo to it. But just different things that we can provide you to make it easier. And then again, it's that open dialogue of, hey, we found out that ABC company will give you this if you ask. It'll just be that dialogue for us all to share resources and ideas, or just, like I said, excitement, because I don't think anybody gets excited like I do.
That's the one. That's the one. Thank you, Sharon. Hold it back up one more time so people can see. That's us. Just so you know, that's the IPA USA official logo on Facebook. Okay, anybody else have any questions? This has been wonderful, Lindsay, as always. Thank you. I'll be sending you a big bunch of stuff in an email. The link to this video, the what else, Pat, did you want? I'll send all 3 grant opportunities. I'll send you not only the QR codes, but the Google links to the mini grant and to the release forms. I'll send an idea of where you can get, yeah, and the PDFs, yeah. I'll send you where you can get event insurance based on where we got it for our conference. I think those are all on my to-do list, and all this will try to be happening by Friday. But you can do the mini grant app and download the release immediately. And I'll get notified about that. And I'll send the porch play chat dates and the funders.
And again, like my goal is, I wanted to do it for years, and I just didn't know how to start it. And it just took somebody to say, well, let's just pick a date and do it. So this is us picking the date for you, and just do it, right? If you need that push, this is that push. If you've always wanted to do it, now you got a date. Find a couple of people that you know are good at volunteering and helping collect stuff, and just do it. And it doesn't matter if 10 kids show up or if 1,000 show up. You hit 10 kids. That's what matters, because now you've made a difference, and those 10 are going to turn to 20 and so forth. and then it's just gonna grow from there. And again, my whole belief with it is we keep it simple, we keep it basic. You can involve games, you can involve a gaga ball pit or a volleyball court, add what works for
approach.
you. And for us, it works that we just provide all of these different opportunities out there, and we just let them do what they want. And our job as the volunteer is, as always, we just look for a hazard, or we're just looking to make sure everyone's getting along, right? We just look for that, and we just sit back and we just talk to other adults. And then-
At the play days that I do at my community college, I went and got really big lengths of rope, and oh my goodness, the jump roping they do is amazing. So they could do Mary Jane's, and they do also, I mean, it's truly, and people come from everywhere.
Mhm.
So-
Oh, and another good, if you have connections in the hospitality world,
Mhm.
so assuming you have storage, or assuming that you have a building to use, if you can reach out to any hospitality connections for like the old, like the laundry totes that are massive, that's a
Mhm.
really easy way to throw all your boxes in one location and transport them versus lifting them or putting them inside boxes and break and so forth. Those totes are great. And they're
Nice.
yeah. So
Any other questions for Lindsay before we go?
hi, Brett.
Okay, well, thank you so much for coming. Thank you for participating, and we're very excited to see how many of you are willing and able to do a play day on hopefully
Thank you so
September,
much, guys.
at least that week. All right, be watching for an email from me. It'll be big.
Thank you, Deb. Thank you, Lindsay.
Take care, everyone.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ashley.